Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Instruction for experiment number 8, which is coordination of DMT and IDMT over current relays. Here you can see the diagram for series line sections, where first line section is between bus 1 and 2 and second line section between 2 and 3. And there are two loads connected to this system at bus number 2 and bus number 3. Here relay R2 is responsible to provide protection to line section between bus 2 and 3, and relay R1 is responsible to provide protection to bus 1 to 2 and also backup line section bus 2 to 3. So it is acting as a backup to R2. Here in this experiment we will coordinate these two relay in such a way that R2 is acting as primary for its own line section and acting as backup for relay R2 line section. So student will do this coordination for DMT as well as IDMT characteristics. In this system we can see we have a source, a circuit breaker, CT, relay, line section, load and other equipment that you can see in this diagram. For the implementation of this experiment in the lab, we will use an ideal line here that has zero resistance, so that will be just connecting wires. So line 1 and line 2 both will be ideal, and we use a rheostat to generate the fault. And in the lab, this is set up for experiment number 8. The source over here, single phase AC source, circuit breaker 1, relay 1, load 1, circuit breaker 2, relay 2, this is second load, and here to create a controlled fault this rheostat will be used to control the fault current. Now here how to implement this circuit in the lab. Here I will draw that circuit step by step in front of you so that you can do it easily in the lab. Source will be variable voltage source, so that has a fixed input. 220 volt is the input of this variable voltage source, and here at this variable knob we will get the output. This experiment will be performed at 100 volt, so between this variable point we get 100 volt. Then next is circuit breaker, so here is the circuit breaker. Next is the relay. Because current is not very high, we are not going to use any current transformer in between the system current and relay. Current will be let directly pass through that relay. So relay that we use is the same relay on which student has performed experiment in set 1 to 7. So here is the display of the relay. Here is the input terminal for the current. So this current will be passed through these two terminals. Current will come out here. Then the next is line section, which is ideal line, no need to dwell the line over here. Next would be the load. Load is connected over here. Between this point we have a lamp load connected between this point and neutral. So this is the phase, and here we have neutral point. We are not going to pass this neutral through the circuit breaker to keep the circuit simple. Next, from this point onward we have the next circuit breaker, which is CB2. This was CB1. Here we have CB2, second circuit breaker. This is relay 1. Next will be the second relay, overcurrent relay. So current will be passed through this terminal so that relay can sense this current. And next we have the second load. So load will be connected between phase terminal and the neutral. Next we have a rheostat to implement the fault. So one end of the rheostat would be connected to the neutral, and other variable point will be in floating condition. We will use this terminal to create fault either here at this bus number 2 at this location, or at bus number 3 at this location. So this terminal will be connected only if required to create the fault, otherwise it will remain in floating condition. So here we have load number 2, this is load number 1. Now these two circuit breaker will be controlled through the overcurrent relays. So here through normally closed contacts of the relay, so NC contact of the relay, this is NC. Same is the case over here. Between these two terminals we have normally closed contact. Normally closed contact of the relay would be connected to the relay terminals of the circuit breaker. Here are those connections. Once relay would trip, its normally closed contacts will become open. Same is the case with circuit breaker. It will receive open across its relay terminal, and circuit breaker would trip by the relay. So here is connection for circuit breaker control terminal. Now this is complete circuit diagram to implement this system that is given in the manual. Now question is, what will be the value of this rheostat to insert the fault? Its value will be adjusted in such a way that across 100 volt it will produce the fault current. Fault current may vary from 4 ampere up to 7 ampere, 4 ampere, 5, 5.5, whatever will be assigned to the student groups. Divide this voltage with that fault current, that will give the rheostat resistance. With the help of digital multimeter, set the resistance between this variable and fixed point. Then you can connect this point either at this point or over here to create the fault. So this is how students are going to implement the circuit in the lab. Next is the calculation part. So first of all, we will have to set the pickup setting and the time setting for these relays R1 and R2 to coordinate with each other for DMT. If I show you from the manual, for DMT relay coordination, here the value of time setting for relay R2 is already given. So student will perform this experiment for two different time values, 0.5 second and 1 second. And these are to be filled by the students, the set current for R2, set current for R1, operating time of R1. So first of all, what should be the value of pickup current for this R1 and R2? So criteria for the pickup setting is the pickup current, I set current, should be greater than 2 times of maximum I load current and less than 1/3 of IF minimum. This is the criteria. So for this experiment, IF minimum will be the current for which you will achieve the coordination. So this will be provided to all the groups at the time of that experiment, IF minimum. And here, for just to give you a demonstration, I will assume that this current is, let's say, 4 ampere. IF minimum is 4 ampere for which coordination is required between these two relays. Then I load current. I load in our this particular example here for this relay R2, there is only one load, and that is a 100 watt bulb. So rating of this bulb is P is equal to 100 watt, and voltage at which this bulb is rated is 220 volt. So from here its current can be calculated. First we will calculate the resistance of this load. Resistance of load will be the square of the voltage divided by power. I am using formula P is equal to V square over R. So here resistance will be 220 square over this, the power of the bulb, power rating, that is 100 watt. After calculation it is 484 ohm. Now the current, load current will be the voltage at which this load is operating. For this particular experiment, the applied voltage is 100 volts, so load current will be 100 divided by 484 ohm. So that is 0.21 ampere. As we can see here in the diagram, this relay is carrying only one load current is passing through this relay, so load current will be 0.21 ampere. Now from this data we can provide the upper and lower limit of this I set. I set will be greater than 2 times of 0.21, that is 0.42, and it should be less than 1/3 of IF minimum, that is 1.33 ampere. So pickup can be set anywhere in between these two limits. So that will be pickup for R2. Next, for R1, the load, because there are two loads for this relay, one is load 1, other is load 2. So current is already twice of this value. So when further multiplied by 2 to fulfill this criteria for relay 1, the upper and lower limit for the set current will be 0.42 into 2. So current should be greater than this and less than 1.33, because fault is same for which coordination is required, so that's why same value will be used over here. Clearly we can see in these two limits we have a region where we can set the value of I set current for relay R1 and R2 equal, which will satisfy both the criteria. For example, if we choose I set is equal to 1 ampere, that will satisfy this criteria of limit for R2 and this criteria for the limit of current for R1. So we can take any value. This is completely up to the students. They can take 0.9 ampere for both relays, or they can also use different value for both the relays. That is up to them. Next will be the time setting. In case of DMT, the time setting for first case is 0.5 second for relay R2. So in order to properly achieve coordination between these two relays, we will have to delay the time of R1. So that delay is known as coordination time. So coordination time for laboratory experiment is equal to 0.55 second. This is only for lab. Practically, this time coordination time ranges from 0.25 second to 0.4 second. It depends upon the speed of operation of circuit breaker used in particular section of the power system where we are achieving that coordination. So in our country, normally this time is used as 0.3 second to coordinate two relays with each other. So this is the coordination time between primary and backup protection. As in our first set of experiment, in experiment number 1 and experiment number 3, student has observed this thing that the calculated time of the relay and actual tripping time of the relay was slightly different from each other, and that difference was due to the student version of that relay, because it was taking a bit more time as compared to its actual calculated time for its operation. So we have accommodated that time in this coordination time. That's why our time for coordination in laboratory is slightly higher than the actual time used in power system for the coordination of relay. So it means the operation of R1 will be delayed by this much time to coordinate with R2. So R1 will wait additional 0.55 second as compared to R2 to clear the fault. So coordination means if fault occurs at bus number 3 over here, this fault will be seen by both relays R1 and R2. Only R2 should operate for this fault, because R1 is backup. It should not operate for this fault unless R2 fails. If R2 fails, then R1 will open its circuit breaker to clear the fault, but this time outage will be more, means load 1 to both will be out of service. But if primary operates properly, then only this circuit breaker will trip and isolate the fault. The rest of the system will be intact. So this is coordination. Coordination means it is covering the failure of the primary protection. Backup is covering the failure of primary protection. Now in this way we can find out the time of relay R2, that will be T2. T2 is 0.5 second, which is already set, given to us. So time of relay R1 will be equal to time of relay R2 plus the coordination time. So that is 0.5 plus 0.55 second, and that will be 1.05 second. So student will set the relay setting in this way, that I set current, let's say 1 ampere. For this relay its time will be 0.5 second, and for relay R1 it will be 1 ampere as well, and its set time will be 1.05 second. And then students will do these case studies, which I will show you from the manual. They will put a fault at bus number 3 when both relays are in service. Observe the operation of the relay. Then they will put the fault again at bus number 3 when R2 is not in service. Just reset the relay. So once the relay is reset, there is no setting. Whether fault occurs or is the healthy condition, it doesn't matter for the relay. So that relay will be treated as out of service. Reset the relay. Press the reset button to take the relay out of service. Then fault at bus number 2. Bus number 2 is this bus over here. This is bus number 2. Put a fault over here before that circuit breaker CB2, and then observe how system is responding to this condition, this fault, and you will note down your observation over here, how relays are tripping and why it is tripping. So results will be mentioned in this manner, and then students will move to the IDMT relay coordination. With the help of this DMT, they will have the idea how coordinated relays work in coordination with each other. Once they are gone through this coordination, actually in power system, coordination is achieved with the help of IDMT relay characteristic, where the operating time of relay is not constant. It depends upon the fault current. higher will be the fault current, smaller will be the time taken by the relay to operate. Now in order to achieve the coordination among the relay in IDMT characteristics, let's say these are the characteristics of relay R2, then the characteristics of relay R1 should be delayed with respect to R2. Here is the relay operating characteristics for relay R1. This is R1 and here we have the characteristics of R2. Here we have introduced a time difference between them, that is known as coordination time. So this coordination time is introduced at IF maximum, the maximum value of fault current at which we want to achieve the coordination. Here we have current in per unit, along the vertical axis we have time. So this time is introduced at the point value of current at which maximum value of fault current at which coordination should be achieved between these two relays. If relays are coordinating at maximum fault, they will definitely coordinate at all the fault value less than this. Now here is how we are going to achieve the coordination. The step 1, first of all select the TMS value for relay R2, set its TMS. Then on this TMS, for the given value of fault current, determine its operating time T. Calculate its operating time at IF maximum. Then in this time T2, add coordination time to determine the value of operating time for relay R1. R1 operating time will be T2 plus coordination time. Once we had this time T1, we will determine the value of TMS that will give us this much delay at given fault current for which we have calculated this time. So here TMS will be calculated. TMS of relay 1 will be determined. So if this is electromechanical relay, these steps will be done with the help of characteristic curve provided by the manufacturer. In case of numeric relays, we use the characteristic equations that has been implemented on that relay. In our laboratory experiment, the characteristic equation for the relay operation is given in the manual. For standard inverse characteristic, the value of these constant is given as k is equal to 0.14, alpha is 0.02, c is 0, and I is the fault current, IS is the set current. So here we use this equation to find out the value of time and TMS for our relays. Let's take the same example and proceed. I am going to perform the calculation for one fault. Student will follow the same instruction to do the calculation for their given conditions. So let's say for relay R2, it is given that its TMS is to be set equal to 0.1. This is the given to us, and we want to coordinate these two relay as at fault current IF is equal to 4 ampere. So here we do the coordination on the same fault. We assume the same 4 ampere as maximum fault as well as the minimum fault at which we use the same current to set the pickup setting as well as we will set the coordination time between these two relays. So from here, first of all we set the pickup setting. I set of relay 1. We have already done the setting of set current. Let's make it 1 ampere. That was according to criteria given. Next is we will find out the operating time of R2. T2 will be equal to the TMS 0.1 by using the same formula that I have shown you in previous slide, that is 0.14 divided by I fault current 4 divided by set current. We have already set over here 1 raised to power 0.02 minus 1. Operating time will be 0.498 up to 3 digit up after decimal point. This is the operating time of the relay. Now by using this operating time, we can now do the setting for relay R1. So TMS is unknown, only we know the fault current value and we know the I set current. I set here for relay, so this will be for relay R2. So this is for relay R1. I set for relay R1 is also equal to the same current 1 ampere because it satisfies the upper and lower limit of both relays. It can be different for both relays as well, but here for our condition it will be same. So set current is 1 ampere, fault current is 4 ampere, same IF. Now we will use the same formula that we have used to find out the time. This time we use this formula to find out the value of TMS. So operating time that is required from R1 is equal to T2, that is 0.498 plus the coordination time 0.55. 1.048 second is operating time. Now in order to get this operating time, we want to do the setting of TMS. So let's use the same formula that we have used to calculate time. This time is known to us, which is 1.048 second, that is equal to TMS is unknown. Rest of the formula will remain same. By solving this for the value of TMS for relay 1 is equal to 0.210. If we have electromechanical relay or either numeric relay that is used in power system, so this TMS can be easily set 0.210. But problem here in the relay that we are going to use in the lab, we can set only TMS up to 1 digit after decimal point. We cannot set this TMS exactly equal to 0.210. So we will have to either round this value to 0.3 or we will have to round it downward at 0.2, because TMS can only be set 1 digit after decimal point. Obviously 0.2 is closer to this value 0.21 as compared to 0.3, but as we round it off either downward or upward, relay would not give us the exactly this operating time. This time would increase or decrease. For example, if we round it upward to 0.3, relay would take greater than this time, okay, which is not acceptable, because difference between their operation should not be greater than our coordination time of 0.55 second. And if this value is rounded to 0.2 second, relay would operate in shorter than this time, and due to this short operation time, it is quite possible that relay R1 may fail to coordinate with R2. So what happens in that condition? If coordination will fail, as soon as fault occur on bus number 3, it is quite possible relay R1 will also trip for this same fault, as R2 is already tripping for this fault. So this is known as loss of coordination, loss of security. More than one relay has tripped where the tripping of extra relay was unnecessary. So to do that, whether we are selecting 0.3 or 0.1, we will have to make adjustment in I set current, the pickup current of this relay R1, so that the final value of operating time is not going to change from this value 1.048. It should remain the same value 1.048. So now here, if we round it up towards 0.3, what should be the changing in our I set current that will give us the same value of operating time, whether we will have to increase the set current or decrease the set current. If we look at the formula here, in this formula, now we will see the relationship between the TMS and the set current if the operating time is constant. Let's solve this equation for TMS. TMS is given as operating time multiplied by this factor, which is I operating over I set current raised to power 0.02 minus 1 divided by 0.14. If we keep this time constant, so let's see how the increase or decrease in this I set is going to impact the TMS. So by increasing IS, it means this ratio will reduce. As this ratio will reduce, this positive factor within the bracket, its magnitude will become smaller, and overall this factor that is going to reduce. As this value will reduce, TMS will reduce. It means with the increase in I set, TMS decreases. So similarly, by decreasing I set, TMS would increase for the value of T constant. So it means there is an inverse relation between TMS and I set current. Now let's go back to the situation here. If we round this value of TMS in upward direction 0.3, it means we will have to reduce the I set current in order to achieve the coordination. And if we round it downward here, it means we will have to increase the set current. So now question is whether we select 0.3 as TMS or 0.2 as TMS. We are doing this setting for relay R1, which is backup. So backup relay pickup criteria, set current criteria is it will be either equal to R2 pickup setting or it should be greater than R2 pickup setting. Reason, because here it is saying two loads. In order to satisfy this condition, we will have to round it downward so that we can increase the pickup, because we have already set the pickup of these two equal to each other. So in this way, if we round it downward to 0.2, so we will have to increase the pickup of R1 according to the calculation so that we get the same operating time. But if students have already selected the pickup of R1 greater than the pickup of R2, then they can also go for the rounding up towards 0.3. Pickup is going to reduce, and if the resulted adjusted value of pickup is still greater than R2, that is acceptable, no problem. But end result is the pickup of R1 should be greater than or equal to pickup of R2, not less than that. So now we are going to round it downward so that we can increase the pickup. So selected TMS for relay 1 will be 0.2. So that requires an adjustment in the set current of relay R1 so that we get the same operating time. So to do that, we will use the same formula here, this formula, but this time we are going to solve it for IS, because T is given to us, TMS is known to us, we want to find out IS. I am going to simplify this equation so one can use this directly to find out the value of IS by putting the value of T and TMS. This is the same equation, but this time solved for I set current. Here fault current, TMS, T, all these quantities are known to us, and here it is the power 50. Now we are going to substitute the values of all these known parameters and find out the I set. I set would be equal to IF is 4 ampere divided by 0.14 into TMS that we have selected is 0.2. Time that we want is 1.048 plus 1 raised to power 50. After solving this, we get I set equal to 1.07 ampere. This is the calculated value of I set current for relay 1. Now here if I write the final values for the coordination between these two relays, for relay R2, I set was 1 ampere and TMS is equal to 0.1. For R1, I set is equal to 1.07 ampere and TMS is 0.2. Once we do this setting, put a fault over here, only this R2 will respond to this fault, R1 is not going to trip. But if we reset this relay R2 and again put the fault over here, then R1 will trip and clear the fault, acting as backup. And we will see that the operating time difference between these two relays would not be greater than 0.55 seconds. When I will check the response of the coordination that you have done, I will verify this thing. These two relays operating time difference should not be greater than 0.55 seconds if they are properly coordinating each other. So that is the maximum time that should be between them. If time will be greater than this, if these two are coordinating, then that is not acceptable coordination condition. Now I will show you in the manual all these steps that you are going to perform. You will note down the results here. For example, over here students will do these calculation for 3 different values of TMS that will be provided to them in the lab. So here are those 3 values you will write over here, and then you will calculate the time required by this R2 to operate for the given fault value and set current. You will have already set these set current. Then find out the operating time of T1, and then you will find out the set current of R1, and then TMS value of R1. Then the same discussion that I have done is written in the form of note over here, because we can't adjust that TMS value more than one digit after decimal point, so we will have to either round it up or downward. I have mentioned that if we round it upward, that requires a new value of set current less than the actually set, and if we round the TMS value downward, we will have to increase the pickup. Both can be done, but we will have to make sure that the backup relay pickup should be greater than the primary relay pickup or equal to that. If it is less, that is not acceptable. Then student do that modification, right? Copy the value from above here in this section, and then for setting R1, this is the time they have calculated. This is adjusted TMS, either it is rounded up value or rounded down value. Then they will calculate the new value of IS, and then student will do the setting in the relay and note down their observation here in this section. Thank you very much.